Hey everyone, thanks for being here. I am sorry, I seem to be saying that a lot. It's been a little bit since I posted. Summer break has really been busy. Good news is my kiddo goes back to school tomorrow. So today is Monday, August 11th, 2025. If you're new here, I'm Melissa, welcome. I'm hearing noises, sorry. I've been on a weight loss journey with GLP-1s since February 1st, 2024. Started at 330 pounds, and now I am down today to 57.8. So I have lost a little over 72 pounds, and I want to update you guys on just kind of all the things. I went to my PCP today, had my blood work drawn, and we reviewed those today, and my blood work was amazing. I was so excited beyond belief. My triglycerides and my cholesterol was all in the normal range, and that made me so excited and thrilled because it's been a while, right, since I've had consistent good numbers in my cholesterol and triglycerides. So the only thing that she had said was, I think there is a bird trapped in this chimney. So the only thing that she did mention was she was a little concerned about my glucose. My fasting glucose was 67. That's okay for me. It's not supposed to be below 70. I do have my continuous glucose monitor on that keeps me aware of things, but this was a fasting glucose, so I didn't need anything since the night prior. She said, she doesn't want it being under 70. I said, I wasn't that worried about it because 67 isn't that bad. I've had a lot worse. But I did eat a Kind bar after my blood was drawn, so that way my sugar would go up and stay steady. I've also, thanks to Brittany, if you don't know who Brittany is, she's Brittany Rose GLP-1. She has her own YouTube channel. She had mentioned that she eats Kind bars sometimes for meals or snacks, and I looked into those, and actually I started having one before bedtime, and like an hour or so before bedtime, and it's actually kept my sugar level and steady, which has been great. I've not had any significant drops overnight like I was having, so I take that as a win. Definitely, it's been great progress. I was gonna go see the ankle surgeon tomorrow just to check in with him, but he got called in for something else, so that got rescheduled. Hopefully, I'll get all the information that I need soon as far as what mobility aids and everything I'm gonna need during the surgery and recovery period. So I'm just kind of waiting on that. I have also, I think part of the reason that I haven't been able to post also is I have been in a mental downward slope for about a week and a half. I'm better now. I'm not sure what the root cause of it was. It was just a generalized feeling down, feeling sad, feeling like things just, I don't even know how to describe it. Feeling like you didn't matter, or, nothing was going right. And, there wasn't, like I said, there wasn't anything that really happened. It was just this funk. It's hard to admit, but it's something I think people need to be aware of. I do take medication daily for anxiety and depression. I've never really classified myself as being depressed, but that week I did feel very depressed. So I did start talking back to my therapist after all of that, and I will continue to do so for a while. So something else that I've realized with the last couple of weeks is, and I've talked about it in a previous video where I got very open and honest, and well, I mean, I've always been honest with you all, but I think you catch my drift, that I wasn't eating for a while. I would have a bag of chicken chips, the wild protein chicken chips. I might have a Built Puff bar or two, and that was all I would have to eat for the whole day. And I think that goes back to our mental state and how we have always thought about losing weight, that don't eat, you'll lose weight. My body wasn't moving with the number on the scale. It was staying in the 260s, and it was really frustrating. And I was like, you know what? This isn't good. And being afraid to eat because you're afraid to gain weight, that's a tough one. And I'm sure that I'm not the only one that has thought that or struggled with that. So I decided, and just kind of like a switch flipped, if you will, that I was going to go ahead and eat. And because my body needed it. And maybe, just maybe, when I eat, maybe it would be enough to confuse the scale in my body and I would start dropping again. The last 2 weeks or so, I have been having a loss every week. I may not have one this week when I weigh in on Thursday, Friday. I'm not sure because it is that time of the month for me right now. However, 257.8, I think is what I am. Yeah, I think that's what I said, is the lowest I have been in a very long time. And you know what? I've been eating. I usually have a Kind bar most days for breakfast. I'm not usually hungry until 10, 11 o'clock in the morning. So then I'll go grab a Kind bar. On the weekends, if it's like Sunday, we always go out before church and I'll have a kid-size oatmeal with bananas, nuts, brown sugar, and a piece of wheat berry toast with a little bit of butter. And I eat about half the oatmeal of a kid size. So it's about like this big, about that deep. I eat that. My husband has been wonderful to be cooking at home because our schedule has been pretty crazy. And especially with school starting tomorrow, he's been making dinner for our family. So I'm actually having real food. And it's a protein, like tonight was steak and green beans. And that's it. And that's what I've been having. One night it's pork chops and corn. And one night it's salmon or cod with baked beans or just pinto beans and something else, you know? So I've been having that meal. And I'll eat about half of it. And then I'll end up having like a couple of cheese sticks, string cheese. And then I'll usually have another Kind bar at night. And that's been about it. Now, some days I am hungrier, Mondays and Tuesdays, because my shot day is on Tuesday. So I've been eating. And for me, it blows my mind that I am able to eat and I am losing weight. I am not tracking currently. That to me gave me a lot of anxiety And realistically, it's not sustainable in the long run, right? I know some people are able to do it. My ADHD brain is just, if it's not in front of me, I don't think about it. So I don't do that because right now, knock on wood, I'm doing okay. I would love to get to 250 by September 22nd. That is when I have my ankle fusion surgery. So I would love to get to 250 by then. But the thing is, I really want to hear what your struggles have been. Your honest, open, raw, vulnerable path. How has it been? Because we all know it's not all rainbows and sunshine like some people will tell you. Some people do not go into the hard times or the times that they just barely can make it through. I am documenting this not only for myself, but for anybody else that may see this, that may be going through that at the very same moment that I am, or has just had it. Hey everyone, so as you can see, I look a little different than I did at the beginning of the video. This is actually Tuesday, August 12th, 2025. I had to stop filming yesterday evening due to a meeting that I got pulled into, but wanted to come back and just wrap up the quick discussion about mental health and how that can affect us as we are going through our GLP-1 journey. So as I talked about, I hadn't been eating for a while, very much, practically starving myself, and the scale was not budging, and I couldn't figure out what was going on for a while. And I don't know what decided in my brain to remind me, like, hey, you have to eat, and your body needs this food. But I was glad that it did, because I have felt a lot better with me eating real food and food in general. So I think there is a hard line that we that have had the food addiction, binging, food scarcity mindset, that if we don't eat, we'll lose weight, and that's the only way that the medicine is not the medicine, sorry. That's the only way that we're ever going to get this weight off. And that's really hard to recognize and admit that it's not the case. It kind of goes against everything I've ever thought about or been told. But, I was very sluggish anyway when I wasn't eating a whole lot. Didn't have a lot of energy. And now that I'm eating more, sorry, that's one of my dogs outside chasing a squirrel or something. Now that I'm eating, I have much better clarity. I have more energy and just overall feel really good. I have been able to tell such a difference. Plus the scale is moving, which is great. And it's moving in the correct direction, which is down. I didn't realize how depriving myself of food is still part of my old mentality, and I think it goes to show how much we as people who have obesity have fought and struggled all of our lives with losing weight, and how when we get something like this GLP-1, and it's working, we want to do everything we can to maximize that, right? And those results. But our brain is still, it's like it's in protective mode. And it tells you, don't eat too much, don't eat too much. Well, the GLP-1 is actually doing that for us. So I'm not taking in as much as I would have. Instead of, like I said before, instead of multiple pieces of pizza, I eat one piece now and I'm done. I usually eat more of a kid-sized portion on things. And it's hard to realize that you have to eat to lose weight on GLP-1s. It's like counterintuitive, right? And it goes against everything that I want to do. So I'm trying to remind myself, eating is not a bad thing. It's really hard as a person with obesity to say that eating is not bad. All of this to say, I just want to let people know that even when you are on this journey and you have lost, a significant amount of weight, there are these mental blocks that do come up sometimes because it's natural. And it's not that I think about food anymore either, which has been a blessing. It's just that mentality, the old mentality of what we've been told how to lose weight. Well, stop eating. So I just want to share that with you, that I have been going through that I've had some darker moments the last week and a half. That it's not always rainbows and sunshine, but it's how we tackle it. And this can take a toll on you mentally. This GLP-1 journey was not part of why I was having such a hard time for a week and a half. It was a lot of other things that were going on, and it was just it was hard. It was really hard because I didn't want to talk to people. I didn't want to return phone calls. I didn't want to do anything. Automatically, I kept up with my food by eating regularly and eating, period. But other than that, everything else was kind of like my brain wanted to shut off and go into that protective mode. And I think during that time is when I was also realizing that I have to eat. And I can't be afraid of eating. Because I can't believe I've been afraid of eating. Our brains have been so screwed up. I mean, my brain has been so screwed up. I came from being made to clean up my plate. Or I was going to be in big trouble. And that was not from my mom. And that was from my abuser and my stepmother. I had to clean my plate. I had to eat. And then it's, why are you you know, why are you so fat? Why are you so fat? And that's, I think, part of the reason why I had that time period where I didn't want to eat, because I think those things were slowly creeping back in, but I have been terrified to go the other direction. I do not want to do anything to hinder my progress or my numbers. I don't want to ever screw this up. And there's probably a lot of us out there that probably have that same feeling, that you've been given this opportunity and you will do whatever you can to make it work. And then there's this part of you that is the obese part going, I know I'm losing weight, but I'm so scared to backtrack. I need to just stop eating so I can continue to lose weight. And I got to work on that. You know, obviously I know that that's not the case. I know that we have to eat, we have to nourish our body because food is fuel. But it is still in there, that thought process, that that old way of thinking. And I'm done with it. I'm done thinking that way. This is a process for sure, and there will be ups and downs, and it's how you handle it. And it's also how you retrain yourself and your body to take care of it. So thanks for sticking with me on my long-winded dialogue today. Hopefully it made sense. I just needed to get it out there, what's kind of been happening. I'm getting ready to have an interview with Brittany. So hopefully this interview takes and works so we can get it posted. But I hope that if you are struggling and you are watching this, that you know that there are a lot of us out there that are in your shoes or have been in your shoes, and you're not alone, and to keep focusing on the reason why you're doing this and that you are getting healthier. If you struggle with this or know of someone that does, or have any thoughts or feedback, if you have had this kind of conversation with yourself and realization with yourself, let me know. I just wanted to get it out there because it's been weighing pretty heavy with me. So I hope that everyone has a good day, and I will talk to you soon.